Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. As we wrap up this week of Bible stories when waters were divided, today we continue the story we began yesterday. Yesterday we talked about Elijah and how he took his mantle, rolled it up, struck the Jordan River, and how it divided so that he and Elisha could walk across on dry ground. Then we heard how Elijah was taken up into heaven, and finally how Elisha picked up the mantle that had fallen from Elijah's shoulders and put it on his own. That mantle became a symbol of the heritage of Elijah, now passed to Elisha. The spirit that had rested on Elijah now rested on Elisha. Now, Elisha would go on from there and do many incredible things. Even later on this same day, he came upon a spring that was bad. There was something in the water that made it unfit to drink, and it wasn't fruitful for the crops either. Right away, Elisha healed the spring, making it good water again. Later on, he cures Naaman of leprosy and many other things. But when we left our story from yesterday, Elijah had been taken to heaven. Elisha put on his mantle, and then there he was on the other side of the Jordan by himself. So he approached the Jordan, rolled up the mantle just as Elijah had done, struck the river, and sure enough it parted again, so that Elisha could cross back on dry ground. Now, some might say that there must have been something of Elijah's power that Elisha tapped into that continued on in that mantle. I don't think so. The Spirit of God is living and active, and I don't think there's anything magical about it that way. Rather, I think that Elisha being able to part the waters is a sign that Elisha had received that double portion of the Spirit he had asked for. In other words, Elijah benefited from the heritage of faith he had received. Perhaps you are familiar with the hymn, Faith of Our Fathers. Through the verses of the hymn, it lifts up the faith of our ancestors and how that faith was passed person to person down to us. Verse 2 even points to martyrs of the faith and how their example inspires us. What you may not be familiar with is the next hymn in our hymnal, which has the same title and is sung to the same tune. But the words have been redone to point to the faith of our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, and our brothers. In other words, that we all share and pass on the legacy of faith to one another. In addition, our faith supports and helps the faith of the others around us. The fourth verse says, Faith born of God, O call us yet, bind us with all who follow you, sharing the struggles of your cross until the world is made anew. Faith born of God, O living faith, we will be true to you till death. We have received a legacy of faith. It is the heritage we have been given. We share a legacy of faith. It is the heritage we live together. We pass on a legacy of faith. It is the heritage we leave for those who come after us. We live a legacy of faith. It is who we were made to be, who we are, and the witness we leave for those yet to come. In dividing the waters, God made a way. May God's way be made through you. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.